keep it real with myself, I ain't got shit to prove. I've been risking it all, I ain't got shit to lose. Y'all want diamonds and gold, I'm dropping mad jewels. Money over these bitches, you know that cash rules. Every day cooking up, this ain't no fast food. Feel it deep in your soul, I'm more like Whole Foods. Real G's moving silence, I don't post moves. Balling hard in the paint, making post moves. I've been feeding the streets way before Postmates. A lot of couples unhappy, y'all only post dates. Keep my grass cut low, watching for close snakes. And all my niggas on go, a zoo full of apes. Taking over the world, I'm buying real estate. It's just me and my girl, she keeping me in shape. I know that life is a bitch, well fuck it, I penetrate. Then air it out in my music, I gotta ventilate. I grind, it's my time, no cosign. I climbed an incline, see dollar signs. I've been handling business, too many minded minds. No, I am not religious, but please don't cross that line. Feeling connected to God, this is my elevation. And I'm walking by faith, no hesitation. RP Nip Hussle, you my motivation. The marathon continues, that's my dedication. Rest in peace, neighborhood Nip. Make some noise for neighborhood Nip, y'all. Yeah. Make sure y'all go and check that out on my YouTube channel. I just dropped the freestyle video honoring Nipsey Hussle.
Hello, Uzi Vert, TazManiaShow.
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 You already know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Look at my chips, yeah. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counting up 6. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Standing on business, tycoon rich. Wagwan gang, back in this thing. You already know you're tuned into the TazManiaShow podcast. Make some noise. We're back for episode 102. Episode 102, what it do, you already know what it is. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and make sure you check out episode 101. That was the relaunch of the podcast. Rest in peace to my Nana. You know, I did some history, you know, some little history for Women's History Month, you know what I'm saying, where you could check out my experience in podcasting. So if you haven't already, make sure y'all go show some love, put some, you know, information in the comments, because I'm back, not just vlogging, we podcasting. And this episode of the podcast, of the TazManiaShow podcast is brought to you by Tide Water, the most amazing Black-owned natural spring water. You see it right here first. Make sure you get some of that. But yeah, Tide Water, the best water ever. You know I'm from VA. You know it's something in the water, you dig. And today is a very special day for a lot of reasons. Not only is it episode 102 of the TazManiaShow podcast, last week on March 27th, I honored my Nana and I brought it back. Today is March 31st, and today is the 6-year anniversary of Nipsey Hussle, one of my biggest inspirations, one of my biggest favorite rappers. His life was tragically taken senselessly 6 years ago today, and I'm going to honor him. This whole episode is going to be about Nipsey Hussle. So for all my Nipsey Hussle fans, I want y'all to just put some, you know, some blues in the chat, put your marathon flags in the chat, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be twitching real soon too, so you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Twitch and everything. We coming over there soon, going live. But yeah, with Nipsey Hussle, man, today is special, and it's also special because it's Eid, and I just finished my fast for Ramadan. So shout out to everybody that's been fasting for Ramadan today. We made it, y'all. We made it, y'all. We made it, you feel me? I don't know why the claps just, all right, come on, yeah, make some noise for that. I like these buttons. I said I was gonna use other buttons, but the claps, pause, is like my favorite thing on this joint for real. But today is gonna be a super special episode because we're talking about all things Nipsey Hussle. I got on my LA hat. You see what I'm saying? I'm representing, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Crenshaw and Slauson. You know what I'm saying? I'm sipping that LA, La La Land, you dig? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, get a little sip. Super delicious. Matcha Madness. Today's the last day of Matcha Madness. Basketball, March Madness as well. But make sure you get some matcha, my favorite tea. And check out my previous vlog too, the La La Land with Tazzy's Baddies Matcha Madness vlog. But like I said, today it's all about Nipsey Hussle. Man, there is so much that I can say, so bear with me. My first introduction to Nipsey Hussle was when I was at Howard University, and I was a huge magazine fan. If any of you don't know this, I used to write for Vibe magazine. Shout out to Clover, shout out to Twan, shout out to Mikey Fresh. You know, shout out to all my people up there. I used to work at 14th Street in Union Square. I was, I think I talked about this a little bit in my previous issues, but around that time, huge magazine junkie. And shout out to my Nana, man. She always had magazines in the house, and that was like, I think my introduction to, you know, journalism for real. Like, so shout out to my Nana, because I don't know if without her, I wouldn't be here without my Nana.
But also, too, my love for journalism started at a very, very young age. So when it comes to my magazines, the XXL freshman cover, my magazine collection is insane. But I had the XXL freshman cover. And matter of fact, I should have brought it, but I didn't think to bring it. It just hit me just now. But I'm actually going to pull it up. I believe Big Sean, OJ the Juice Man, Nipsey Hussle, you know what I'm saying? I think Wiz Khalifa, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't want to butcher anything. But that was my first introduction. I'm going to actually pull it up so I can just double check who was on that cover. Yes, the freshman 10. It said a new breed of hustlers. This was one of the best, if not the best freshman class in my personal opinion. Like, I don't know, like it, I'm waiting for this to like load. Okay, so on that freshman cover, we had J. Cole, Pill, Nipsey Hussle, Wiz Khalifa, OJ the Juice Man, Freddie Gibbs, Big Sean, J-Rock, Fashawn Donis. Yeah, so man, I can honestly say like that's a pretty decent class of rappers, yo. Like, shout out to XXL. That was I believe Nipsey Hussle was listed as most determined. And if you look at the picture, if you guys go look it up, Nipsey's right in the center. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting down. He's got it, and it folded out. So when they did the cover, you had to like peel the cover out so that you could see it. But Nipsey got on his blue. But let me see the category. Nipsey. Let me see which. I think he won most determined. So let me actually just go ahead and give Nipsey his flowers again. XXL. I think it was most determined, if I'm not mistaken, or motivation, like crazy. So that's how I got my introduction to Nip before I had heard any music. But it was like, right here, March 1st, 2010. They put down Nipsey Hussle, so it says Ermish Ashkadam, hopefully I'm pronouncing the name correctly, age 24, notable releases, Hustle in the House, 2008, guest verse on Snoop Dogg's Upside Down, Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 2, I think B-Dot from Rap Radar always said that was his favorite, and Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 3, and he was currently working on South Central State of Mind that was due in summer of 2010. He was signed to All Money In, his personal label, Cinematic Epic, and it says Aligned with No One. And then it says in the next 2 years, it says hip hop will be my reign. And he was listed as most determined. Man, that is pretty accurate. So when I bought that magazine, it was because of J. Cole, because J. Cole was the reason why I started rapping, listening to the warm up and the come up. And when I saw him right in the middle, I don't know what it was, but I went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out who this guy was. And I had heard at the time Blacc Sam, before he had went to do Crenshaw. I think that the first I had Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 2 on CD. I still have it, actual CD. Don't know where I got it from and how I got it. I think I ended up going to LA, but I had the actual physical copy of the CD, and then I had that magazine. And it was like one of the most I won't say aggressive tapes. Like, I didn't get it at that. I wasn't like a West Coast gangster rapper. Like, not that I wasn't a fan. Like, I was a fan of Nate Dogg, Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying, Ice Cube. But it was new for me because I'm from the East Coast. So I was really into East Coast rap. But I just loved his aura and his persona. And that's kind of what led me down the rabbit hole. And I think that the next thing that really caught wind of me, because again, I'm bumping J. Cole. I'm on the radio at this time. I'm just trying to learn how to rap. So I think that the next thing that happened is he dropped that $100 Crenshaw tape. That was like, it went from the XXL freshman cover to the Bullets Ain't Got No Name to the $100 mixtape. So let me actually pull that up, because I believe that the Crenshaw tape, if I'm not mistaken, was actually advertised on Rap Radar. And I was following B-Dot and Elliot Wilson. Shout out to Elliot Wilson. He was actually just in one of my vlogs recently, Crenshaw tape. And I was like, $100 mixtape? Like, what? It says rapper Nipsey Hussle on the $100 mixtape. Forbes is coming up. I wonder if Rap Radar is going to bring it up, because I want to actually read it. Because what I had heard in some interviews, I think if you guys watch his Rap Radar interview, they were saying that they never did advertisements. That wasn't like the thing that they did. So if you wanted him to do something, you had to do a write-up. And I was, okay, so on October 4th, 2013, Nipsey Hussle released his $100 album, and it was this flyer that says the All Money In presents the Crenshaw pop-up shop. Only 1,000 copies. You get it had hats and all of his merch, and it was at 517 North Fairfax, Los Angeles. Be a part of history. And I think this was like actually written by Nipsey, if I'm not mistaken. So it says, Nipsey Hussle's living the truth. Nipsey Hussle's truly living by his all money in, no money out mantra. Next Tuesday, he's setting up a pop-up shop in LA and selling his street album Crenshaw for $100. Yes, $100. But before coming out of pocket, Nips explains to Rap Radar the reason behind the price tag. Pardon me for reading this like this, y'all. So it's 2013, whether we accept it or not, buying music is a choice, not a requisite. When I think of the psychology behind what makes me purchase an artist's album, it's always a form of reciprocation, almost like a token of appreciation after I experience the product. The reason I chose to charge $100 each copy and only start with 1,000 units is because I make my music for those who are listening. It's not about stepping outside of what I'm known for in hopes of new discovery. What that means less is fans that are better served, kind of like the effect of less kids in a classroom leading to a better education. I'm more or less focused on fully serving the ones that have connected already. That being said, it's a value over volume thing. If I'm going to offer a product made with no compromise or concession to the platforms, radio, A&R opinion, label bias, etc., then the way we sell has to change. Hence, proud to pay. As an artist, my goal is to inspire, entertain, motivate, and most importantly, innovate. Did I just say that? Inspire, entertain, motivate, and most importantly, innovate. And as lovers of art, we should base our purchase on the artist's ability to do so. That being said, if my presence in the game has any of those effects on you, $100 is your form of saying don't change. It isn't the price of the plastic case and the polyurethane disc. I never knew that's what the name of a disc was, but I hope I said that right. It's the price of revolution, the price of rebellion against an industry that has tricked us all into making products that have no soul for fear of not being heard if we don't. Okay, Nip. Wow. Have over 400,000 followers on Twitter, 140,000 on Instagram, and 400K on Facebook. But what are they good for if they don't mobilize my release? If only 1,000 of those people are engaged to the point of brand loyalty, that's what I'm focused on. That being said, I fuck with who fuck with me. I have no plans to change up or let go of my people for hopes of a larger audience. And I have a feeling that this first 100 will be the evangelist to my cause. Like Frank Lucas said, nobody owns me. We might have to go to the jungle for it to work. But once we get it, it's blue magic. Oh my gosh. Y'all make some noise for Nipsey Hussle. Fuck the middleman. Okay? Fuck the middleman. 10-8-13, proud to pay. Yo, that gave me chills, man. Let me just sip some of my tea. That truly gave me chills because it's the tonality. It's like if you know Nip, if you're a fan of Nip, even just watching his interviews, I'm not gonna lie, before I got to the $100 mixtape, I'm the type of person where I'll become a fan of you if I like, you know, how you interview and everything like that. That's really my thing. So let me actually sit right here. That's actually like my thing. I like to, you know, see how you think and how you are. And I think I had heard in one of Nipsey's like words of motivation, he doesn't listen to anybody he can't learn from. And his business acumen was very, very inspirational on how bold it is. And for those of you that don't know, he got the inspiration for the $100 mixtape from a book by Jonah Berger called Contagious. And it was based off of this guy that opened up a Philly cheesesteak restaurant called Barclays Prime, I believe, and he wanted to sell $100 mixtapes. And it wasn't just $100 cheesesteaks. Yes, Barclay Prime, $100 cheesesteaks in Philly. Shout out to all my people in Philly. Eagles won the Super Bowl this year. Let's go. Make some noise for the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Yes. I see Gilly still around there running around with his hat on. Him and Wallow. That hat is huge. But yeah, but again, it wasn't about the Philly cheesesteak being $100. It was about the experience. And apparently the restaurant owner had champagne, you know, this whole ambiance that came with it. And I think that that's what it was with the $100 Crenshaw mixtape. It was a meet and greet. It was a performance, I believe, at the House of Blues. It was a pop-up. It was a one-on-one. It was like, you're paying for the experience, kind of like modern day, like paying for the meet and greet with Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anything else other than the pictures, but it's like fans want an experience. They really want to feel like they know you. And in an era of social media, it was like he was saying, you're not just paying for the plastic, you're paying for the experience, and it's a one of one. And that's always been very like natural and like unique about Nipsey's branding. Like, and then speaking of branding, a lot of his literature has been a huge inspiration to me. The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. It was of branding and marketing. Let me make sure I look up who the author is on that one. That book has also helped me as well. Like I said, I'm a student You know what I'm saying? I'm a student of Nipsey Hussle. 22 Immutable Laws of Branding by Reese, Al, Rise, and Laura. Apparently that's where he got the concept for the Marathon logo and the red, and like, you know, even with him being a Crip and him wearing red and just trying to end gang violence and just trying to feel like his colors, you know, in Los Angeles. I didn't grow up, you know, there, but just understanding, like, hearing about the stories about you not being able to wear certain colors in certain areas, and then him just, you know, kind of his Marathon logo is red. And shout out to Jorge Pineche. You know, make some noise for Jorge Pineche. He's the graphic designer for All Money In, Crenshaw, all the logos that you guys see. Yeah, and shout out to Jorge. He actually did one of my logos for me. He did my Fluent logo, which is this tat right here that I have on my arm. So shout out to Jorge Pineche. But the collaboration of them two, him being his photographer and being a graphic designer, and how they connected. I just watched this interview and he was talking about how he started on eBay and things like that. But yeah, the 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, all of the literature that inspired Nipsey. So from the Contagious book inspiring him to do the $100 mixtape, from the 22 Immutable Laws being the book that inspired him to create the type of logo, the simplicity. Like, you know, when you read that book is amazing. It talks about like the focus of like logos and the color and the tonality, like why Chase Bank is blue and why Target is red and yellow, like what that speaks to and what he was trying to do is like urgency. You know what I'm saying? Hospitals are red, you know, like the signs for the Red Cross and things like that. So it's a lot of intention and urgency that comes with that. And I think that you would probably expect that if Nipsey was making a clothing line or a brand, he would go Nipsey Blue. I ain't gonna hold you. That should be a color in Crayola. Put that in the comments, y'all. If y'all think that they should come out with a Nipsey Blue, if it's not already, like how you have different hues, like I think it'd be super dope if they had like Nipsey Blue as a color. Like I'm telling you, like, because even though like the Marathon logo was red and everything like that, just the idea and the psychology, like him being extremely intentional. And I remember, what's that classic interview? I'm gonna see if I can play a snippet of it. Nipsey's first interview. I think he had it looked like he had a Jerry curl at the time, if I'm not mistaken. But he was at like a summit, and I heard that Nip would like, you know, create music. I've heard people say it took him a long time to actually create music, but like he would go on and off the grid, and he would actually let me see 1 second. Where is it at? Nipsey Hussle first interview. And I think you could just tell his aura, like even watching his documentary. Let me see. Oh, I put interview. I gotta put first interview. Hold on, let me pull that up. First interview. How long is this? It says 5 minutes and 39 seconds. I'm not gonna play the whole clip, but let me see if I can. Let me see. Oh yeah, here we go.
You do look. What's your name, man? You new and upcoming, but you're at this summit. What's your name? Where you from?
My name Nipsey Hussle. I'm from LA, Slauson and Crenshaw area. You know.
Okay, well, Nipsey Hussle, that's named after Nipsey Russell, the comedian.
Correct. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about yourself, man. What brings you up here, up and coming, and you know, how come you're not blinging and having all kind of crazy diamonds and all that? I guess you here to get your money right, huh?
All the time. I mean, you know, all that is cool for the image and all that, but all them is liabilities. You feel me? I'd rather invest in some real estate. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, can you repeat that again, man? You're up and coming artist. What did you say you want to do?
I say invest in some assets as opposed to trick off my money on some liabilities like diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Cars that lose value, so you drive them off the lot.
So you're trying to get land.
Exactly, homie. A real asset. Take care of my peoples, because you know it look good, but at the end of the day, you losing value, homie. It ain't appreciating, it's depreciating.
What do you think? Why?
Look, let's make some noise in Nipsey Hussle. Early on, Nipsey was ahead of his time, ahead of his grind, like ahead of his time. That's like, I think I came across that as well, and I was just like locked in since day one, super fan. So from the magazine to the Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 2 or 3 to the Crenshaw $100 mixtape to seeing this interview, I was just like, man, I'm a super, super fan. And fast forward, just being able to just watch his trajectory, I never missed it. I don't think there's a Nipsey Hussle interview I haven't seen. Like I would wait on Nipsey Hussle interviews like to drop like music, you know what I'm saying? Because he's always dropping gems. And, you know, even speaking about his literature, I had a pleasure of meeting his mom actually on August 14th, the day before his birthday, on my sister's birthday, August 14th. Nipsey's birthday is August 15th. You know, shout out to the Leos. You know what I'm saying? Make some noise for the Leos. Yes. my sister and myself, we met Angelique, I believe, at Hope in Studio City, this vegan restaurant. I had walked in. I had just bought a portrait of Nipsey. Funny enough, we had just left downtown LA, and I had bought a portrait of Nip. This was after his passing. And I walked in and I saw her and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Nip's mom or whatever. And, you know, she had waved me over. I came down, like, it was just energetically, like, the vibration was there. I saw her. I had never met her before. My first time ever seeing her or hearing about her was when she had spoke at his funeral. And, you know, she was just sitting down having lunch at Hope, Healthy Organic Positive Eating in Studio City. We were sitting there eating. And it was a heavy conversation she was having with her peers, and I'm not gonna get into the details of the conversation, but by the end of the conversation, she had said, I want you to go to this bookstore. And I was like, okay. And she was like, this is the bookstore I used to tell Nipsey to go to. I forgot exactly where it is, but she had gave me a list of books to get, and I'm just like, oh, I see where he gets it from. Very beautiful woman, beautiful spirit. Shout out to you for raising a king, you know what I'm saying? Like, just... It was an honor to, you know, to be in his presence. And I've actually met a lot of Nipsey's family after his passing. I did have the honor and pleasure of meeting Nipsey. It was an amazing day with my little sister Tajay. Shout out to Jay. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jay. Ritzy Retreat makes a voice of my sister. My favorite Leos, Nip and Jay. But it was one day we were kicking it in the house, and I was like, I had been to the Marathon store before it had became the Smart store. Shout out to Idris Sandu. I actually met him as well, the guy that did the smart technology that was embedding the technology into the clothing and the whole Smart store concept. I think if you guys go watch an interview, you can see about how Nipsey met Idris Sandu and at a Starbucks coffee shop while he was taking, Imani to get a special unicorn drink or something like that, but they connected and they did the technology and everything like that. But anyways, that day I was kicking it at the crib, and mind you, I had been at the Marathon store before it had switched. So I had went when it wasn't in the corner just yet. It was like next door to it. And I remember I had got these little flyers early on. I think Saweetie was on one of the flyers, if I'm not mistaken, and she had on a Crenshaw jersey. I met Blacc Sam. And then I think the next time I went back, they did the grand opening with Big Boy. I believe it was in June or something like that. And excuse me, my teeth. I just ate. I hope there's not food in my teeth this whole podcast. Either way, I'm still putting it out. It is what it is. So my sister and I were chilling, and I was like, yo, we going down to the Crenshaw store. We about to meet Nipsey today. She said, what? I just manifested. I believe in the law of attraction and law of manifestation. So she said, we are? I'm like, yeah. She was visiting me for the summer in Cali. So I throw on my Crenshaw shirt, I throw on my 11s, my sweatpants, you know what I'm saying? I put my hair in a bun, we slid down there. We're at the Crenshaw, we're at the Marathon store. I'm posing, taking pictures in front of the All Money In truck. And I had met Blacc Sam a couple of times. I had met Krusty as well. Really dope guy. I had met him like the years prior. And I remember I walked into the parking lot, and it was a lot of, I don't know, I guess the day I pulled up, it was just a lot of people there in general. I didn't know a lot of people were going to be there that day. So we pulled up. And I don't think my sister had met any celebrities at that time, if I'm not mistaken. So I see Blacc Sam. I'm like, yo, what up, Sam? You know, saying, how you been? It's good to see you again. He's like, yo, what up, what up, what up? And I think it might have been my second time. Sam is just a beautiful spirit. I know that he's like Nipsey, one of, if not Nipsey's biggest inspiration. You know what I'm saying? When you hear about being a hustler, he learned from his oldest brother. So, you know, I was just excited and honored to be in Blacc Sam's presence in general. So I'm like, yo, Sam, you know, like, yo, we should get a flick or whatever. I don't be pressed to be taking pics and everything, but that particular day, I was like, yo, I want to take a pic today. He was just like, yo, give me a second or whatever, because I got to run in. I think Lil Baby was in the store. I didn't even know that, but Lil Baby was in the store, and they were doing some type of competition or whatever. He was like, you know, I'll holler at you at a minute, but, you know, Nip, he'll take a picture with you. I lie to you not. I'm talking to Blacc Sam. I look at Blacc Sam. He says that. My sister's behind me. Nip walks up on me and says, neighborhood. I'm like, oh, shit. And this All Money In chain hit me. I'm like, I don't even get starstruck. I'm not going to lie. I've met a lot of celebrities, but I didn't know. So I'm like, I didn't know if my sister was recording. I'm like, yo, did you get that? She was like, no, I didn't get it. Like, I'm like, what? What you mean you didn't get it? She was, I didn't know. It's like Nip appeared out of thin air. And I'm like, yo, can we get a flick? He was like, yo, give me a second. I've never been thirsty. I've always been hungry. You know what I'm saying? But I've never been thirsty. You got to understand the difference between the two. And I'm just like, it's always divine time. And so I'm like, all right, do your thing, whatever. He goes inside. And he goes and he links with Lil Baby. They do some basketball competition. I think if you go through the Marathon Clothing page, you can see all of this. But I do have the clip of me walking right behind Nip or whatever. But unfortunately, I never got a chance to meet him again. But that was one of the fondest memories. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my sister for being there, Nipsey. That was a beautiful day. You know what I'm saying? I met Nipsey. And everything is not always, meant to be captured. It was a beautiful memory that I had. And, I remember where I was on March 31st. I was in Atlanta at the time doing something, and my sister called me and was just like, Nipsey got shot. And I was just like, what? What do you mean Nipsey got shot? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and it was just, I think it might have been a year later, if I'm not mistaken. And I just kept telling myself I was going to be the first lady of All Money. And I'm like, damn, got no girls on the label. It's going to be me, Taz Tikoon, Nipsey Hussle. And just super, super inspired. A lot of my blueprint, pun intended, was inspired by Nipsey. The way he did his branding, the way that he was just so unapologetically himself, the way that he was like against the system, like just intelligent, but just a person that demanded a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like not nothing goofy, in the internet. I loved him and Lauren being together. Make some noise for Lauren London, yo. Make some noise for Lauren London. Cross and Imani, you know what I'm saying, his children. When I saw that GQ cover, that GQ interview that they did, and they did they if I'm not mistaken, Nipsey and Lauren were the first, if I'm not mistaken, GQ couple when they asked those questions. It was like just seeing him ascend and doing his thing. It was like, I'm like, as a person that was following him since the XXL cover, the Bullets Ain't Got No Name, it was just dope watching a mega star like just be built. I remember when I first saw that last time that I checked video 2 with him and YG, he was glowing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, like he on, like what is he on right now? You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm not mistaken, discography wise, after Crenshaw, let me actually go through the Nipsey discography. I don't want to actually put it out of order. Was it Mailbox Money? I think it was Mailbox Money. That was a pretty good album, all of his albums. But okay, I'm a little bit. So no, he had I was right. Crenshaw, then came Mailbox Money. But before that, we had the Marathon 2010. We had the he dropped a lot of music. So we got the Marathon 2010, the Marathon Continues 2011, Crenshaw 2013, Mailbox Money 2014, No Pressure with Bino. That was a pretty good album. I think Mercy's on that. I love Mercy with Stacey Barth, one of my favorite songs. 2017, Victory Lap 2018, Slawsome Boys 2. Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 1 was in 2008, Volume 2 2008, and Volume 3 2013. And from what on the Nip Hussle the Greats, Volume 1 and 2, he had the great, like, he just was so self-proclaimed, and just this, the way that he just moved, it's almost like he made so much of an imprint, like, in such a short period of time. Like, it's like his greatness, man. Like, even when I heard from something I had heard, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but like he was doing all the Bullets Ain't Got No Name series, 1, 2, 3, and I think they were saying Blacc Sam was like, yo, you gotta keep going. And that's when he made the switch. And he was like, I got to be a brand, the Marathon. Because if you think about it, the brand lives on forever. Because speaking of brands, let's get into the branding. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, Nipsey Hussle isn't here, in the flesh, but his legacy lives on through the Marathon brand. You got the Marathon Clothing, TMC, which I thought was always great. The Marathon Continues. And you got TMC, the Marathon Clothing. You got the Marathon Collective, the cannabis brand. You have Marathon Burger now. You know what I'm saying? You have the Marathon Rooftop. What else we got? And even speaking about like breaking that down, like the Marathon Clothing. Also too, right now, if you go to the website, they have a spring sale going on where it's 30% off of Marathon Clothing. You know what I'm saying? Let them know Taz Tikoon sent you. You know what I'm saying? But even the Marathon Collective, shout out to everybody at the Marathon Collective. Shout out to Brenda. Shout out to Jamie. I was there when it was Kana Farms, before it turned into the rebranding. When you go inside the Marathon Collective Cannabis, it's like no other. It has that Nipsey touch. You know what I'm saying? It's like it has that, I think the trunk where the money that he buried that got molded was like, it's in there. He has his Grammy trophy in there. He has chandeliers. It's just it's like high class. Even if you had a chance to go to the Marathon store, you could see it was just the aesthetics was just so aesthetically pleasing. Like it was like one of the best. And I heard that they're actually gonna revamp that to the Neighborhood Nip Foundation, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be a community center for the kids where they can come and make music, just like Nipsey used to do when he went to Watts and he used to make music. So like the kids are going to be able to have a program in the Crenshaw community where they can go and make music. So make some noise for Nip's legacy, like, and Blacc Sam and the whole entire team, BH, Killa, Twan, Kabi Supreme, everybody, man. Like, man, Pac-Man, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody that's involved in the legacy of him. But yeah, that's coming. But the Marathon Collective. So I recently did a link up with India Love. Shout out to India Love. She just dropped her strand called Indica Love. She got the AM and the PM. You guys can go check that vlog out on my YouTube channel as well. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. Shout out to India Love. Great energy, great vibes. Shout out to Marathon John. I think BH was in that vlog. And Killa Twan, if I'm not mistaken, he was in that vlog too. But the Marathon Collective, like the branding, you go from the Marathon as an album to the Marathon clothing where you can wear it. Then you can smoke it, right? You got Marathon water, you can drink it, you know what I'm saying? And then fast forward, if you guys also didn't know, even going back to his early branding, right? So he had a collaboration with Fat Burger. You know what I'm saying? Fat Burger, the Fat Burger that's beside Crenshaw, he had the Marathon Burger there. So the foresight, right? Years later, you know what I'm saying? They end up buying the old Johnny Rockets on Melrose and they end up turning that into the Marathon Burger, you know? And when I watched the interview, if you haven't, make sure you go check it out. Blacc Sam talks about it. The people that own the Marathon, the Fat Burger, disbanded from Fat Burger and made Marathon Premium Burger. And I guess Jorge and Blacc Sam got wind of it and was like, oh no, y'all not about to take over this. And it just kind of like expedited it because they probably could have collaborated, but they had this little baby picture of Nipsey inside. And because they were just like, yo, we got to honor our brother's legacy, my brother's legacy. We got to do this the right way. And in a short period of time, they actually created the Marathon Burger. Shout out to the Marathon Burger. If y'all haven't, make sure y'all go check it out. I had the Black Tiger Shrimp. That joint was bussin', okay? That joint was lit. The sweet tea and the lemonade. If you went to Howard University, that joint tastes like a Ho Chi mix. No kizzy. Like, that joint is delicious. Like, oh my gosh. But even what I love, too, I didn't know the story about Nip and Sam working at a restaurant. You know what I'm saying? When he talked about, like, Nip used to steal shrimp and steal these pound cakes or whatever, but you got Blacc Sam in the kitchen cooking. You got, like, just getting your hands, like, dirty, just actually being of service. It's, like, dope to know that you can go to the Marathon Burger and get your burger from Blacc Sam. And also, too, go to my YouTube channel and check out that vlog, that mukbang. I did a mukbang. Shout out to Keith Lee. Make some noise for Keith Lee. He did a mukbang there as well. Am and Dub. Shout out to Dub. They were both from two of my vlogs recently. But Keith Lee did a mukbang over there. Really, really dope energy. And I got to go back again. But they had the official grand opening. And YG was in there. Roddy Rich, Sexy Red. Matter of fact, let me go through my social media. And I honestly, make sure y'all follow the Marathon Burger. Y'all can probably go check all of this out for yourself too. Where you can actually see it. The Marathon Burger. Going crazy, like going super crazy right now. It's actually located at 7507 Melrose Ave. Let them know Tikoon sent you. I don't know what's going on with my Wi-Fi. But I cut my Wi-Fi off because I was like, I didn't want my phone to ring or whatever. But all this amazing, like Wallow and Gilly was just there recently. But it's just dope because, like I said, Nipsey wanted to create a burger joint. You know what I'm saying? Or create a burger, and then years later, you know, you see the legacy still. The marathon continues through burgers, even the Krabby Patty. That's how it all launched. But if y'all haven't, like I said, I'm just giving you guys a little snippet of the story and everything. But check that out. Who else? As far as the branding, so the Marathon Rooftop. So that's where it's like a high-end, you know, shopping experience. I haven't had a pleasure of going over there to check that out yet, but recently I saw that Michael Rainey Jr., he went over there and he did like a, you know, a shopping thing, but it's like private shopping. They have a, you know, rooftop jacuzzi, champagne, just like that Rodeo Drive, you know what I'm saying, type shopping experience. So like, if you think about the Marathon mixtape, the Marathon clothing, the Marathon Collective Cannabis, the Marathon Burger, the Marathon Rooftop, you know what I'm saying? The Marathon water. And then as of recently, they shout out to everybody that ran in the actual LA Marathon. Like, it just doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? What won't they do? Like, it is a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Stop running your mouth and run a lap. You know what I'm saying? Victory laps. It's just like all of that, right? The legacy, like it's like a mantra. And that's like one of the things that even my dog, shout out to Hustle. My dog, I named him Hustle after Nipsey Hussle. So when people are around me, or even when I say hustle, it's like a verb, you know what I'm saying? For me to remember and honoring his legacy, you know what I'm saying? Like Nipsey is one of my biggest, Nipsey, let me cut my phone back off. That's why I had it off in the first place. My bad, y'all. One of my biggest inspirations, man. Like, and then recently they also did a $100,000 grand prize giveaway for the Marathon clothing. You know, like I can't say, like, I don't know, like I've been inspired by a lot of rappers and businessmen, but he really changed, you know what I'm saying, how I live my life, like how I hustle. So many things that I know all of us wish that Nipsey could have seen. And today, like I said, I just wanted to take episode 2 of the Tazmania Show, brought to you by Tidewater, to just, you know, and also Marathon Sports. Shout out to Marathon Sports. I saw that recently. I don't know if they're starting a sporting agency, but, you know, that'll be awesome too. I don't know what's to come next, but like I said, I'm always here. I'm always supporting. Huge fan of the brand. I'm running my laps. I got my dog Hustle. You know, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle, man. You my motivation. The marathon continues. That's my dedication.
I got a family to feed. Gotta keep planting these seeds. Always extended my hand. Nothing was handed to me. I stuck to my script. They sending me scripts. This shit was planned to be. I had to stick to my plan A. Now everybody can see. Tidewater flooding these streets. Shorty go dumb in the sheets. It's 1500 or it ain't nothing. Josh going dumb on these beats.